Welcome to the program where you get the latest updates on the activities of the Galatian and Christian Church of Christ that have been held around the world. I'm Brother Sean Campbell and this is the good news. In our headlines, evangelical missions in the ecclesiastical districts of Italy South and Saskatchewan bring the pure gospel near to many. Special worship gatherings bring spiritual inspiration to church officers in the ecclesiastical districts of Western Europe and Northeast California. City organization members in the ecclesiastical district of Northern Plains take part in Kadiwa Formal. And the ecclesiastical district of Greater Toronto hosts CPR and first aid seminar. The details of your good news follow shortly.
Mga kaibigan, ang pagkakaroon natin ng tunay na kaibigan ay magandang kapalaran. Sapagat ang tunay na kaibigan ay malalapitan, maaasahan sa panahon ng ating kagipitan. Kaya kung mayroong mga tao na higit na mapalad, ay ang itinuturing na kaibigan ng ating Panginoon Diyos. Baka itanong nyo sa amin, meron bang gayong mga tao na kung ipakilala po ng Biblia ay mga kaibigan ng Panginoon Diyos? Ano ang kanilang dakilang kapalaran? At paano po tayo magiging kaibigan ng Panginoon Diyos? Yan po ang ating pag-aaralan sa latest episode ng programang Daan ng Buhay.
Our first story takes us to the ecclesiastical district of Italy South, who were able to witness a Bible-based study during evangelical mission of the Church of Christ. Sister 11Pm Pht has this report.
The evangelical mission in the district of Italy South was a meaningful event focusing on crucial teachings. It reminded everyone that simply recognizing God isn't enough for salvation. True salvation comes from following and obeying God's will. At the heart of the message was that the Church of Christ is the one true church redeemed by Jesus Christ's blood. The event aimed to help us understand the responsibility that comes with being part of this chosen church. This emphasized that serving God is more than human knowledge. It's about living by God's righteousness. Attendees were encouraged to align their lives with God's teachings, fostering a deeper spiritual connection. This event served as a call to action, inducing everyone to commit to following God's will and recognizing the uniqueness of the Church of Christ. The brethren said the teachings shared will continue to guide our faith journey in the ecclesiastical district of Italy South. From Naples, Italy, I am Sister 11Pm Pht for the Iglesia ni Cristo News Network.
In the ecclesiastical district of Saskatchewan, an evangelical mission imparts true Christian teachings to guests. Sister Kate Barang has this story.
To share and spread the words of God is one of the duties of each member of the Church of Christ. That is why the members of the group worship service of Yorkton actively and enthusiastically invited their friends, loved ones, and acquaintances to an evangelical mission which was held at Kamsack, Saskatchewan, Canada. Brother Jerome Pelayo delivered a Bible-based lesson that emphasized to the guests and members the importance of the true Church of Christ and why people should enter or become members of the church.
We are thankful to God and to the church administration that they allow us to conduct this evangelical mission here in Kamsack. The topic of the lesson is very important. The Bible taught us that people, for them to have the right in serving God and for them to have the hope of receiving salvation, they need to join the Church of Christ. Because if they remain outside the church, whatever services that they will render before God is in vain or not acceptable by Him.
The members and officers were filled with joy and excitement as they prepared for the evangelical mission because they are happy whenever they have the chance to unite with the church administration in sharing the true faith. From Kamsack, Saskatchewan, Canada, I am Sister Kate Barang for the Iglesia ni Cristo News Network.
Choir members in the Ecclesiastical District of Western Europe were spiritually uplifted as they attended a special gathering. Brother Ronald Mendoza shares more.
Singing hymns of praises is a part of worship to God inside the Church of Christ. It is in this holy obligation that the choir members wholeheartedly lead the congregation.
J'ai tellement hâte à chaque service d'adoration car je sais que je vais chanter à notre Seigneur Dieu et c'est juste tellement beau de pouvoir aller chanter en unisson avec les autres membres de la chorale et de pouvoir inspirer nos frères et sœurs dans le service d'adoration.
Hymn singing is a way to edify the faith of the brethren and can also call others to serve God, just like how Sister Geraldine felt when hearing for the first time the choir singing.
Yung first time po na gusto ko maging choir member is yung unang-unang pagsamba ko po na inatinan. As a convert po, na-overwhelm po ako nung una akong nakapakinig ng awit. Hindi ko po alam kung bakit po ako umiiyak. Basta tumutulo na lang po yung luha ko. Tapos yun po, na bautismohan na po ako.
Thus, to remind the choir members of the importance of their God-given duty, a special gathering was held for them all over the Ecclesiastical District of Western Europe, led by the District Supervising Minister Brother Marvin Adriano through video conferencing. This holy occasion strengthened their faith and was as beneficial to the brethren who aspire to join them in their sacred endeavor.
Ang natutunan ko po dito sa tanging pagtitipon na ito ay patuloy lamang na manalangin kahit sa anumang mga problema o mga obstacles natin sa buhay. At isa na rin po doon ay yung patibayin pa po natin ang ating pananampalataya sa Diyos. Dahil sa Kanya natin dinudulog ang ating mga panalangin sa Kanya at lahat ng mga bagay ay hindi imposible sa Kanya.
From Marseille, France, I am Brother Ronald Daniel Mendoza for Iglesia ni Cristo News Network.
We go to the Ecclesiastical District of Northeast California, where more new church officers have been added following their oath-taking during a special gathering. Sister Nestle Cavero has the detail.
All church officers across the District of Northeast California gathered in the local congregation of Sacramento for a special gathering and oath-taking. After receiving uplifting messages conveyed through the words of God, each person in attendance was motivated and inspired to continue fulfilling their duties and leading their fellow brethren inside the Church of Christ.
Personally, holding an office is really important because I'm pretty busy outside of church as well. I'm currently trying to apply to graduate school in the midst of also having like a full-time job. And trying to take care of all of these other responsibilities and all these goals, it can be really tiring. And that's just like professional career things. There are also personal things that I'm trying to deal with too. And when it all gets too heavy, it feels so good to just go back to the chapel and to be able to perform my duty. And knowing that God is just waiting there for me and just waiting to hear me talk about all the things that I'm struggling with. And it's a great way for me also just to stay grounded while all these other things are going.
I think it's important because we're in the gatherings, we're reminded of the importance of our offices, and that even if we face our own trials or hardships in our lives, we find peace in the performance of our duties.
Many of the brethren in attendance traveled from various cities and regions. After the gathering, the brethren had an opportunity to bond and socialize with one another. The love of the brotherhood was felt throughout the entire occasion.
This is one of the quality that we all have as officers. You know, when there's a call from the administration, we do our very best, no matter where you are, no matter what the weather is. And today shows how dedicated all officers in our district. Yeah. And having this office is truly a great blessing.
I would like to thank our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo Manalo, for giving us an opportunity to hold a special gathering for the officers that will all the more help the officers to be strong, to be steadfast in holding their duties, in performing their obligations in the church, for them to be able to face whatever challenges that they may encounter.
From Northeast California, I'm Sister Nestle Cavero reporting for the Iglesia Ni Cristo News Network.
When the good news returns, the Kadiwa Formal in Northern Plains, plus the CPR and First Aid Seminar in Greater Toronto. More stories coming your way. Please stay tuned.
Samahan niyo po kami sa special episode kung saan sineselebrate po natin ang 55th anniversary ng SEBC.
In our third topic dito sa ating Employee Management Series ay sinasuggest po namin sa inyo ang ilan sa mga tips on how to lead your employees effectively.
Dahil ang mabuting pangunguna ay magbubunga ng successful na negosyo. Dito lang sa Negosyo University Season 2.
Thank you for staying with us here on The Good News. For our next story, Kadiwa organization members in the Ecclesiastical District of Greater Toronto had the chance to forge strong bonds and form friendships during the Kadiwa Formal. Sister Gretchen Asuncion has the detail.
To kick off the new year, members of the Kadiwa organization in the District of Northern Plains held their first ever Kadiwa Formal. The Kadiwa organization comprises our members who are 18 years of age and unmarried. Attendees traveled from all over the district from the states of Kansas, Missouri, Minnesota, and Nebraska to Dubuque, Iowa in commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the Kadiwa organization. Eduardo Jagarin, the district Kadiwa president, was one of the attendees.
Today we participated in our first ever Kadiwa Formal for the District of Northern Plains, and they all took the time to drive down here to participate and just to see everything come together, everything set up, and everyone just taking the time to be surrounded by the rest of the fellow Kadiwa. It was a big relief, especially.
The afternoon was filled with a formal luncheon, games, and a live music performance. This activity gave many Kadiwa a chance to get dressed up in formal attire, meet new faces, strengthen the love of brotherhood, and even a chance to see other parts of the District of Northern Plains where they may not have visited yet. For many of the attendees, activities like this become core memories and moments they can look back on as ways they were strengthened in their faith.
For the officers to be able to put in effort to gather us together, to hold events such as the Kadiwa Formal, it helps rejuvenate their faith. It helps remind them that they're not alone, that the church is with them every step along the way. It gives them the opportunity to reflect on their faith and, hopefully inspire them to be more active in activities such as this.
For many of the attendees, activities like this become core memories and moments they can look back on as ways they were strengthened in their faith. Reporting from Dubuque, Iowa, I am Sister Gretchen Asuncion for the Iglesia Ni Cristo News Network.
In Marseille, France, INC kids had fun making science experiments. Sister Laura Tumbaga shares more.
A children's worship service, or CWS Science Day activity, was held in the local congregation of Marseille, France, in the Ecclesiastical District of Western Europe, for the children to have fun together in making easy scientific experiments.
Elle était bien et c'était très amusant aussi. Mon expérience préférée, c'est quand on avait fait le fluide non newtonien. Je la trouve bien, je l'ai bien aimée, j'espère qu'on en refera une autre. Mon expérience préférée, c'était la dernière quand on a mélangé l'huile et le bicarbonate de soude avec le vinaigre et après ça fait comme une éruption volcanique. Et c'était super, j'ai bien aimé et j'espère qu'on fera d'autres activités comme ça.
With the help of the CWS officers and the guidance of the church administration, the brethren were not only able to learn new things, but also got to strengthen their bonds and faith inside the Church of Christ.
Alors cette activité nous a permis à nous aider à nous renforcer dans notre foi, à partager nos connaissances avec nos petits frères et sœurs, à prouver que d'être aux activités d'église c'est très important pour qu'on puisse se voir dans les activités, pour qu'on puisse être ensemble, s'aimer et pour qu'on puisse aussi continuer à les aider dans les générations à venir.
Pinagtitibay ng pamamahala ang ganitong mga aktibidad, lalo na sa mga bata, para sanayin pa sila sa pakikipagkaisa sa mga gawain sa loob ng iglesia. Habang sila ay bata, ay unti-unti silang nasasanay na tumulong at makipagkaisa sa ganitong mga aktibidad para sa paglaki nila, iyon ang kanilang laging ibubuhay.
From Marseille, France, I am Sister Laura Antumbaga for Iglesia Ni Cristo News Network.
Heading over to the Ecclesiastical District of Greater Toronto, members of the Society of Communicators and Networkers, or SCAN International, enhanced their life-saving skills by attending a CPR and first aid seminar. Sister Chantel Santos has this story.
Calamities, disasters, and other emergencies can happen in an instant, leaving only a few minutes or even seconds to react in order to save a life. Not being prepared will result in further disaster and worse, loss of life. To all the more counteract life's unforeseen events where safety is jeopardized, the District of Greater Toronto held a CPR and first aid seminar. Representing most of the attendees of the seminar were SCAN members of the Church of Christ whose priority is to save lives. Simulating several real-world emergency situations during the seminar gave the brethren a very hands-on learning experience in performing life-saving maneuvers. Each attendee was given a chance to apply, on the spot, what they learned by taking turns with their fellow brethren in practicing their newly acquired skills. If ever disaster or calamity does strike, rest assured, the attendees of the seminar said that they will be at the forefront, combining their CPR and first aid knowledge with their faith in order to help those in need. From Toronto, Canada, I'm Sister Chantel Santos for the Iglesia Ni Cristo News Network.
A Health Watch in Milan South Congregation, District of Italy North, helped members stay aware of their well-being. Sister Kyra Cabrera tells us more.
Health is wealth, as the saying goes. This is what the Christian family organizations and Christian Medical Dental Paramedical Society officers did as they spearheaded the Health Watch activity launched in their local congregation. Blood pressure, blood sugar, their height and weight, and BMI were monitored and recorded for future references. The members of the local congregation of Milan South, District of Italy North, are truly grateful to the church administration for allowing them to hold activities such as this. From Milan, Italy, I am Sister Kyra Cabrera for the Iglesia Ni Cristo News Network.
You just saw some of the activities of the Iglesia Ni Cristo Church of Christ around the world. To stay updated, you can watch Ibalita ang Pagliligtas at 12 noon and Iglesia Ni Cristo News Live at 6 p.m. on weekdays. Be sure to catch the next edition of this program where there's always more of the good news. I'm Brother Sean Campbell. Stay safe and thank you for watching.
It's hard to imagine a time when we didn't have the internet or social media or any other digital tool that can help us stay connected and informed. But while these advancements